This is so hard to talk about, man. And I want to get it right. I want to tell the right story. I want to tell you how it actually happened. And I don't want to sugarcoat anything, okay? So I've been getting a lot of people who have been emailing me and messaging me saying, how did you come out to your folks, and how do I come out to my folks as being LGBT? And honestly, I'm a little afraid of those questions because I don't see myself as someone who you should look up to or as a role model. I'm just a husky who likes making videos. But I can also understand the place that you are in right now, because I used to be in that same place. And in a sense, I still kind of am struggling with my identity right now. So I feel like this is a very important subject to just talk about. I figure, because I reached this milestone, I feel like I should make a little bit of a personal video. Because if there's this many people interested in what I'm doing, maybe we should get some, get to know me. So I'll try to make it bite-sized. I won't make it a huge long life story because, I still gotta retain some audience. I was raised a hardcore Christian family. My dad used to be Air Force, and then he retired, and now he's a pastor. So I'm that pastor's kid. That's me. I was working at Subway inside of a Walmart, and there's this guy, let's just call him John, okay? John works at Walmart, and every once in a while he would come to the subway counter and he would order a sandwich. And me, completely straight self, I would gladly make his sandwich. And I was also curious. I was like, oh, I like your accent. John, by the way, is a very flamboyant, gay dude, okay? So John, it's been a couple months, and we're feeling each other out. We're vibing off of each other, and we're really good friends. I feel like I'm a lot closer to him as a friend than all of my other friends who were girls in high school. Okay. So one day he decides to ask me out. I finished making a sandwich. I had to step to the back, and I had to step back there for a little bit, and I was just like, what? I've never had a guy ask me out before. I've had a girl ask me out before, and I respectfully said no because it was really awkward and I actually didn't like the girl. But this is the first time that I've had a guy ask me out. And in my mind, I was like, okay, no, you can't do this. This is against your beliefs. You're a Christian. Wrong. But then the other side of my brain was like, this guy, right? We can talk about things that I haven't been able to talk about with anyone ever my entire life. And I've been so comfortable to talk to him. And, why not? Why not? Just why not? And my decision ended up being to cut him off from my life. And it was the worst decision I think I could have made, because after that I felt really guilty, man. I remember he would come into Subway after I told him no, and he would want to order a sandwich. And I remember I would get my coworker to make his sandwich for him while I stood in the back and tried to avoid him. And I just feel so bad for John, man. John, if you're listening, I apologize. Yeah, you gotta think about it. I'm going to this worship school, right? I was raised in this Christian family. My dad's a pastor. Yeah, I can't date a guy. No, stop. Out of the question. It's done. You can't do that. But ever since then, there's a seed that was planted in my mind, right? And I was like, am I gay? For real. Let's stop joking around for a little bit. Let's just ask the question. Do you think I could be gay? How would this work out with the rest of my life and all of my friends and my family? And I put it in the back of my mind because I didn't want to think about it, because it was too heavy of a subject. I have very clearly created the timeline for my life. I would find a woman, I would have kids, and I would, continue my family legacy as a good Christian couple, right? Look at where I am today. So after that day, and I'm sorry to say this, John, but I moved away, and I joined the military, stationed in the middle of nowhere, where that was not fun. I didn't give him a chance. But I have to thank you, John, for opening me up. I remember the years coming after that, that was when it really started to solidify. Like, oh, I think this is actually who I am. Like, that's the reason why I haven't dated any girls in high school. It wasn't because I'm awkward. It's because I didn't like girls. So I remember I wasn't even dating any dudes at the time. That was when I came out to my sister. You gotta think about this, right? I can't just go up to my parents and say, hey, parents, listen, I know you're a pastor. You know, you have very adamant beliefs. I'm gay. You're welcome. Bye-bye. You know, I can't just do that, right? So I remember what I did do was I found the most trustworthy individual that I considered in my life, my sister. And I remember flying over to see my sister. We were hanging out. I remember the last day, I wanted to tell her so bad. I was too afraid to. I had to leave for the airport in 3 hours. I remember telling her, I was like, can we just go on a drive? Can we go on a drive? Like, I'm about to leave and we have some time together. Can we just go drive? Because this is a good pastime that we always used to do. We always used to just go on a drive and we'd have the deepest conversations, and it was amazing. So that's what we did. We went on a drive, and I told her, I was like, this is what happened in the past year, and I'm about to ship off to the military, and I feel like this isn't just a phase. I've been feeling these feelings my entire life, and I feel like I need to tell you that I'm gay. And I remember she asked me, have I told the parents yet? And I was like, no, I'm too afraid to. But I want to leave that responsibility in your hands. You know, whenever you think the time is right, let the parents know. And she said, of course, yeah. I remember that conversation like the back of my hand so well, because, you know, I thought that she was going to take it the completely opposite way, right? But it wasn't like that. She was completely accepting. She even asked me, like, is there anything else that you want to talk about? And I think that was also the same conversation where I told her that I was a furry. So there you go. Just let it all out. I fly back home, right? I get in my car, because I had to like park the car near the airport and then drive back home. So I get in my car, I'm about to drive back home to Cape Cod. And there's this letter. There's this long letter that has been typed out for me, and it's from my dad. And this is gonna be hard to talk about. So it was exactly how I thought he was gonna react, right? It was also sad. It was sad to read because there was no acceptance at all. Basically, he said. That I'm sorry that I raised you in a way that you have been questioning yourself, and I wish that I could have done better. And I remember that was the most heartbreaking thing that I could have read, because you know, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't raise me, you know, any wrong way. He raised me perfectly, and you know, we were in this perfect family, you know, in this nice neighborhood. Went to a nice school, nice high school, but I guess seeing my dad this vulnerable, it really hurt me, I guess, as much as it hurt him. I think I'm a very empathetic person, and whenever I see somebody else hurting, I also feel how much hurt that they're feeling. And that was just multiplied with my parents, seeing how hurt they were. So I'm reading this letter, and he says that, listen, you stepped off track, you need to come back, you need to, you know, this isn't how you're supposed to be. I was so pissed off. I was like, why? Like, why don't you just support me? Why don't you just accept, you know, how I am? But you can't, you know? Our beliefs are so opposite that how could you bring yourself to, you know, accept me for who I am? You know, we are at the opposite ends of the spectrum, me and my parents, right? I'm over here, LGBT, you know, and my dad's over here, you know, pastor of a church. He has all these loving friends and amazing people that he takes care of. And how could he compromise like that? I don't blame him. But I've had to compromise too. So ultimately, that's been the root of my anxiety lately. It's knowing that I have parents that they won't 100% accept me for who I am. It is difficult, but it's also something that you just kind of have to accept for yourself. I feel like I'm the bigger man by saying, if you won't accept me for who I am, I accept you for who you are. And it's very difficult to do, especially if you've grown up with these people your entire life. And I don't think that there is going to be a resolution to this, or maybe it will come in a long time. But in all honesty, my coming out story is not a happy-go-lucky one. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, as my persona comes across as. And I feel like not a lot of coming out stories are like that. I guess if I were to pass on advice, right, to how you can come out to your family, find someone that you trust and tell them. I told my sister she's the most trustworthy person that I know. She felt that was the right time to tell my parents, and I couldn't agree with her more. I'm glad that she told my parents because I knew that I wouldn't have the guts to do it myself. But I think that if you are genuine with your intentions, if you are genuine with your feelings, then they will understand at least a little bit of where you're coming from. It may take a while, you know, it may take a lifetime, but I think eventually they'll come around. But it is something that is important. If I had to choose between a life of being closeted and not wanting to tell my parents about what I'm up to, you know, where I'm going on vacation, why I moved to the other side of the country to be free and live in a place where I can be myself, or this life that I'm living right now, I would obviously choose this life because I'm happy that I came out to them and I don't regret any of it. I don't believe that life should always be sunshine and rainbows. I believe that there should always be dissonance, and it's just something that you have to deal with, I guess. Yeah, I hope that answers your guys' questions about how to come out to your family. Just find someone you trust. Yeah, I hope that helps, you know? It was very difficult for me to come out to my folks, but I'm really glad that I did. Whew, that was very difficult to talk about, but now that we're moved on from that, I have a little surprise for you. Okay, close your eyes. What? You're not closing your eyes. Close them. I'm not gonna do this unless you close your eyes. Okay. Keep them closed. This is difficult. Keep them closed. I bet you're already guessing what it is. Okay, open them. The king's back, baby. The harness is back. Y'all asked for it, so I will give it to you. You're welcome. Oh man, oh, it feels good to be king again. Woo! So as always, thank you for watching my video. And please tune in for next week's. You know, a great way to do that is to hit the subscribe button. Oh! And if you liked the video, leave a like. Yeah, but you guys asked for a last video. We got 1,300 likes in like the first 7 hours. So I guess people really want the harness back. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Oh, by the way, thank you for 50,000 subscribers. Stay safe, everyone. Ciao, ciao.